This is Newstalk ZB News.
Good morning, it's 7:30. I'm Niva Reddy Manu. Winston Peters has made it clear to China that we are not happy with its handling of the warships in the Tasman Sea. The foreign minister's been meeting with his Chinese counterpart, Wang Yi, in Beijing. Peters says the pair talked about China's new deal with the Cook Islands and the Chinese Navy vessels, which have now entered Australia's exclusive economic zone. Geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller told Mike Hosking Peters doesn't appear to have held back.
Reading between the lines, it looks like it was a pretty tough conversation, pretty robust exchange of views, and Winston Peters has said it was a failure that the Chinese did not give more notice to New Zealand.
This is Newstalk ZB News.
Good morning, it's 8 o'clock. I'm Niva Reddy Manu. New Zealand and China have been talking through the issue of China's warships in the Tasman Sea. Foreign Minister Winston Peters has been discussing the matter with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi in Beijing, along with China's recent deal with the Cook Islands. The Navy vessels have been moving west into Australia's exclusive economic zone. Geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller told Mike Hosking it appears to have been a robust conversation, but also a constructive one.
I don't think China necessarily wanted the relationship to be at this point. Certainly the statements that came out and the characterisations from Chinese state media as well emphasised the need for further dialogue in the future.
Hosking.
Update from China. Foreign Minister Winston Peters, of course, meeting his counterpart overnight, had a word about the ships in this part of the world. Our geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller's back with us. Geoffrey, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
I read the communique. They did the usual diplomatic dance, didn't they? At the end of the day, am I right? I don't know if you saw Seymour yesterday as Deputy Prime Minister. He's been briefed on what we did, militarily speaking. It's the Australians who appear to be asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, there's an awful lot going on, Mike. I think when you look at Mr. Winston Peters' statements after this meeting, reading between the lines, it looks like it was a pretty tough conversation, a pretty robust exchange of views with Wang Yi. And Winston Peters has said it was a failure that the Chinese did not give more notice to New Zealand. So it sounds like it was, as I say, a pretty tough encounter.
Which is all we can say, and if they want to do it, they'll do it because there's no international laws being broken and they're in international waters. Is this, in your view, a deterioration of relations or the new normal?
Look, it is a difficult situation to be in, and it's one I don't think New Zealand wanted to be in. I don't think China necessarily wanted the relationship to be at this point right now. That said, I think it is helpful to have these robust discussions. I think we're all better off when there is more dialogue, and certainly the statements that came out and the characterisations from Chinese state media as well emphasised the need for further dialogue in the future. And remember, this visit by Winston Peters to Beijing was also a set-up visit for Christopher Luxon to head to Beijing later this year, and I think that will be very welcome. We need more diplomacy, more de-escalation, more dialogue.
Couldn't agree with you more. Nice to have you. Appreciate it, Geoffrey. Geoffrey Miller, geopolitical analyst. It's 12 minutes past 7.